Good evening, folks. Lovely to see all of you join us here for the Policy Impact Quiz conducted for the Indian School of Public Policy. We see that a bunch of you already joined us here for the quiz that we have. We'll wait for a couple more minutes just to have all the other registered participants to join in, and we'll get started without any further ado. Yeah, so just stay tight. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. Thank you. All right, folks. So we've got a bunch of people who've joined us. So as we wait for the rest of our friends to join in for the Policy Impact Quiz, I just thought I'll give you a little bit of a brief about what it is that we have in store for you guys for the next hour or so. So I'm Sachin Ravi. I'm the co-founder of QShala, and I'm going to be a quiz master for today. So we're conducting a quiz on a variety of topics, all having the relevance and context of what it applies to public policy and the impact that it has on the world around us. So we've chosen a set of questions, and we're very, very excited to be conducting this quiz for you, the Indian School of Public Policy, just a way for you to learn about the different things that the public policy stands for, but in a much more interactive and innovative fashion. All right, so we'll go on to the next slide as we wait for the rest of our friends to join in as well. So if you can go to the next slide, I thought I'll give you a little bit of a brief about who we are as an organization. So like I said, we are QShala. We are in the business of asking questions. We're in the business of telling stories. And we've been at this for a good 9.5 years. We're going to turn 10 in August this year. And so, yeah, we're Bangalore based as such. But we know we've been conducting events and quizzes across the country and some across the world as well. And going on to the next slide, if there's anything interesting that you remember us by, something that you can, hey, this is an interesting piece of trivia about QShala or the organization that conducted the quiz, is that we're the first company in the world to conduct a quiz on the Antarctic Peninsula, in the Antarctic Peninsula, and also the remaining 6 continents as well. So every single continent in the world, we've had the fortune of conducting a quiz. And let me clarify, this is an offline quiz. This is an in-person quiz. This isn't an online quiz that we're referring to here, which anyone could join from anywhere in the world. This is in person. We had people traveling to these respective locations and conducting these quizzes at various locations. A little bit about how the Antarctic quiz happened. So that's our friend Shubhadeep Jash, who was an early employee of QShala. He also, incidentally, is in the public policy space. He had the chance to attend an expedition called the 2041 expedition, which is an expedition run by that gentleman by name of Sir Robert Swan. And so anyone can actually go ahead and take part in that expedition. So you should go check it out. So he was one of the participants, and when we found out he's gotten the chance to go to this expedition, an idea popped up to our heads, and we were thinking, hey, listen, why don't we do a quiz in the peninsula for the members of this expedition? And that's really how that happened, right? So what I'd like for you guys to do is just give me some show of hands, some sort of, if I can get a quick hello or a hi on the Q&A section, just to know that if you guys are live and available, just go to the Q&A section, and or you can type a message on the chat as well. You can just send a message to all of us here and just give us a quick hi, and that'll be great. Okay, I notice Money has given a hi to us. So this is just, I can see Paras has raised his hand. That's great. I just want to get a sense of I am talking to people. Ayushi has joined us as well. Good evening to you, Ayushi. Good evening to you as well, Nish. Lovely to see all of you guys join and participate here. And I know that some people are a little curious, or hey, what happens in a public policy quiz? What's the kind of questions? How does it work? So that's my job as a quiz master, to make it easy and fun and and enjoyable for you guys for the rest one hour. Hello, Romesh, good to have you here as well. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask, you can just send a message on chat, and I will go ahead and allow, you can go ahead and discuss that. Hi, Aditi, good to have you here as well. So let's go to the next slide, folks, and we'll see what we have. So I think we have roughly 18 attendees here. So I think we can get started maybe at 5:08 and see how many people join us by that time. Is that okay, friends at the ISPP, or should we wait for some more time? Okay. Deep, if you or
Yeah, that's fine with me. We can wait for
okay, great.
1-2
Great.
minutes. Yes.
Okay, great. All right, super. So in that interim, guys, let me give you all who have joined us here a little bit of a heads up. So we need you to take another device with you. So you might have joined this on your laptop, maybe. Please pull out your mobile phone device. Basically, you need two devices to participate in this quiz. One, to be able to go ahead and see these questions, but you can also you need your mobile phone to type in the answers or to do the multiple choice, because we're going to be using a platform called Kahoot to be able to conduct this quiz. All right. So please go ahead and get that set up. So you're going to be sharing your answers on Kahoot as a platform. And in the case you get logged out or whatever, we'll explain to you what you need to do. Just get your mobile phone device. I'll explain all the rules to you. We don't need you to download any app, nothing of that nature. We just want to keep it simple, straightforward. And I'd love for you to also share answers as well, or on the call as well. So I will maybe request one of you whenever you think you guys know the answer to maybe share that with us as well. All right. So let's jump on, see what we have in the next slide. And so, yeah, so how it works is, folks, Kahoot is a platform where you're able to type in your answers or choose the right answer. And it's an instantaneous leaderboard. So if you have not participated on Kahoot at all, can you guys tell me on the Q&A section that, hey, this is my first time on Kahoot. If you've done quizzes on Kahoot in the past, that's great as well. I'd just like to know a sense of how familiar you are with the platform on the in this quiz as well. Just use the same Q&A feature, and we'll kind of hear what you guys have to say, right? And as we wait for that, let's jump on to the next slide. So yeah, two devices, as I mentioned. Device one is required for joining the video call and viewing the questions. The second device is required for participating in the Kahoot challenge. And again, going on to the next slide, as I've explained to you already. So what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is on your mobile phone device, open the browser that you typically utilize. It could be Chrome, Firefox, or whatever browser that you use. Thank you, Romesh. This is your first time in Kahoot. I'll explain everything to you. Please open your browser, right? It would be Chrome, Firefox, and there enter the URL kahoot.it, www.kahoot.it, not kahoot.com, kahoot.it. Please enter that. I will share a game pin with you momentarily, right? At that time, enter the game pin and also enter your full name wherever it asks for your nickname. All right. So just kahoot.it is what you need to do. Let's jump on to the next slide. And these are the kind of questions you're going to be having. There's going to be a type answer question, and there's going to be a direct question, like a multiple choice that you have. I'll explain all of that to you anyway through the course of time. Jumping on to the next slide, and this is what I wanted to tell you. So, folks, we're going to have 3 rounds of quizzing today here at the Policy Impact Quiz. One is called a potpourri round, which is effectively a mixed bag of questions. Then we have a connect round, and we have 4 questions in the connect round. And then we have a rapid fire round of 10 questions that we're going to be asking you guys in today's quiz. All right. So let's jump on to Kahoot team. Let's have the Kahoot screen show up, and you will then be able to enter the game pin on the domain that I mentioned you, which is www.kahoot.it. All right. Just I'll repeat the URL, Ayush. Don't worry. We'll share everything with you again as well. And only after all of you guys have joined in, we'll get started. So don't worry about that. Or you guys are comfortable and you've logged in and have no issues. So as you can see on your screen, go to www.kahoot.it. Ignore the bit about the app. You don't need to use the app for this at all. Just go to kahoot.it, and there it'll ask you for 2 things. It'll ask you to enter your game pin, and the game pin is what you see on your screen. It's 8303251, and then enter your name as in full, like how you it's asking for you. So lovely. I can see Prince is joined in, Aditi is joined in. JG15, my only request to you is if you could mention your full name. It just becomes easier for us to know, because the reason I mentioned this is because we have prizes that we have in store as well for the winners of the quiz. So we'd love to know who you are, and it'll be easy for us to contact you as well. So please enter your name in full, like how the rest have done. So Selvamoney, welcome. Chittaranjan has joined us as well. Ashish has joined us. Ranjit has joined us. Ayushi is coming as well. Lovely. So you guys have gotten a hang of this. So I'm going to wait. We've got 17 attendees here in this call. Let's assume it's 16 because I see a name repeating. So I'm going to wait till we get till the number of 16, 15, 16, 17, and then we'll get started. Nish has joined us as well. That's lovely. So folks, so that's how it's going to work. So we'll just wait for just a minute or two. And once we have all of you guys who've joined in, we'll start off with the quiz. And again, there is no negative marking in this quiz. There is nothing of that nature, right? We want you to guess. We want you to participate. And my job is to make it as fun, enjoyable. And if you guys have doubts, I'll keep adding more clues and all of that. If you guys need a clue, just send a message and say, listen, we need a clue. That's something that I'm very, very happy to do. The goal here is to be able to discuss public policy in a different, innovative, and fascinating manner, right? So we've got 8 folks who have joined us. We've got 9 here. Ayushi has joined us as well. So let's see how many more folks. So I've got Romesh has joined us as well. Welcome, Romesh. Welcome, Ayushi. Chittaranjan is here as well. I think he joined in earlier. I think he's come back here again. I'm just looking at some of the other names I see here. Ashish is here. Chittaranjan. Jyoti, we're waiting for you to join in. Ranjit is here. Prince is here. PS Chaitanya Reddy, waiting for you to join in. Sai Kumar, we're waiting for you. Sajal Kumar, and Zita, right? So yeah, I'd love for you guys. Sai is here as well. Lovely. So the others, Shruti is here as well. That's awesome. And Selvamoney is here. Zita waiting for you. Sajal waiting for you as well. Yeah, Chaitanya waiting for you as well. Who else? And Jyoti. I think these are the names of the folks. Ayushi is here. I see Ayushi. Ayushi is here. Aditi is here. Ashish is here as well. Awesome. Great. So folks, all right. So I think just in the interest of time, we will get started. So what we will do is, in the instance you drop off for whatever reason, right? If you feel like your phone, again, my only request is please don't close that tab. Please keep that tab open at all points in time. If you get a call, it's of course expected. But after you take the call, please come back to the screen. If for whatever reason you log out of Kahoot, you can come back again. And if it says your nickname is already taken, enter your name again and just put a hyphen or a 1 something so that we know that it's the same person. And we'll make sure that we tabulate your scores and let you know. All right. So I think we'll get started, folks, right? We've got 11 of you here. And in case someone wants to join in the interim or is waiting as well, you can join as well. You'll notice the game pin mentioned in the bottom of your screen and the domain remains the same. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got a nice intimate bunch of people here for the policy impact quiz. So here we are for the Indian School of Public Policy. Here it is. All right. So folks, this is the first round and this is going to involve you typing out answers for this question. All right. So, so you need to type out the answer on your phone and you'll see the question on your phone and on the laptop on the Zoom call as well. And we will, then review the answers if there's any discrepancy. As long as the answer is what we have on screen or spelled slightly differently, it's fine, but it shouldn't be too different, right? That's the only kind of requirement that we have. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Wishing you guys all the very, very best. Here is the first question of the policy impact quiz that we have. And this is about a gentleman by name of Atul S. Pandey, right? So he's basically a Pune-based graphic designer and he works in the logo design space. He is best known for his entry in 2010 in a design competition where he featured half a sun surrounding a fingerprint. So which design whose early sketches are shown here is he best known for, right? Again, you needn't know anything about design, right? But look at the fact that there is a sun and there is half a fingerprint. And this is an early version of this logo, which is hugely influential and prevalent in our country, right? That's what I'm going to tell you. And how you end up featuring in the leaderboard is by answering correctly, but also quickly, right? So think about it. What logo of which design features a sun, half a sun, and a fingerprint? And it's something that every person in this country is very, 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 very familiar with. So that's really what we want you to identify. Think about it, right? One of the most prevalent, influential, systems that we have in our country is what we're looking for. So let's get some answers from folks on call here as well. So I'm going to request people at random. You guys can just, I'm going to click on the allow to talk. So I've chosen Ayushi. Ayushi, if you can unmute yourself. I've given you access to share what you think the answer is. So if you could unmute yourself, and again, take a guess if you've gotten it, nothing like it. So Ayushi, what do you think is the answer? If you could unmute yourself, Ayushi, that'll be great.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Ayushi, loud and clear.
So it's I guess it's Aadhaar.
You're thinking that this is the Aadhaar design, is it?
Yes, because fingerprints are mostly used for Aadhaar.
Fingerprint is used for Aadhaar, and if you notice the logo, there is a fingerprint and a sun. That is exactly the right answer, Ayushi. Very, very well done. So that is exactly what we were seeking. Superb answer from Ayushi there. And let's just review the answers that we've gotten from folks. So I think we'll give the first one as well. I think they almost went for that as well. And yeah, little spellings here and there. Okay, we'll be a little generous with that. We'll take the green one as well. Criminal law, sun is good. Yes, sun is definitely good, especially in this day and age. Rupee sign is a great guess as well, but anything to do with Aadhaar, the UIDAI is fine as well. So that was the answer that we were seeking. And let's look at how many of you have gotten this right and what the leaderboard tells us. So this is the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go on to the next screen. And here it is. All right. So this is the leaderboard. Okay, we are in action. So Ashish is leading this quiz with 932 points. Ayushi, who gave the right answer incidentally on the call, is in second. Chittaranjan in third. Nish in fourth, and Aditi in fifth. So these are our top 5 account opening leaders that we have at this point in time. So this will keep changing or not changing depending upon how you guys fare through the course of the remaining 19 questions. But this is the drill, folks. This is how the quiz works. And we'll proceed to the next question. So first question, fairly easy, it seems, for all of you veterans here. So what am I talking about in this question is what I want you to identify. So again, I'm looking for a bunch of keywords, folks. An abbreviation is also acceptable. That is a clue for you. So this is a group of experts led by former ISRO chief K. Kasturi Rangan. And he talked about the challenges and changes needed to build a system that helps transform India into a global knowledge superpower, right? So this system went through several modifications, first in 68, then in 86, then again in 1992, and finally in 2020. And the latest design modifies the long-standing system to a 5-3-3-4 structure, right? So what are we talking about again? We are in a policy impact quiz, and this is as good as it gets, if you ask me, in terms of what kind of influence can policy have, what are the challenges in implementing a policy, the on-ground execution challenges, and various interesting things that all of you in the public policy space would love to be talking about. We've got 7 answers here. So again, I'm looking, like I said, an abbreviation is fine. A bunch of keywords is what we're seeking for you to tell us here. So let's ask some of our friends here. Who do you think we can ask here? So this one, how about I ask Ranjit, Kunal, Ranjit, you'd raised your hand earlier. So how about you take a stab at this? You can again go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us what you think the answer is. Kunal, you should get a request to unmute now. Are you able to unmute? Kunal, Ranjit, are you able to hear us or not? Okay, I don't think he's able to speak for whatever reason. That is okay. So how about this? Why don't we ask, let's ask Aditi. Aditi, again, I'm just going at random, no real order to this per se. Aditi, you should have gotten a request to speak. And I've sent you an unmute request as well. Are you able to hear me? Can you go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us what you think the answer is? Okay, I don't think she's able to. Oh, Aditi, yes. What do you think is the answer? Hello? Okay, for whatever reason, we're not able to hear Aditi. So let's look at the answers. Are there any other interesting answers that friends have shared with us? Can we just go to the review answer section, please, once? And so we've got NEP policy 2020, absolutely. National education, okay, we'll be generous, we'll give that as well. NEP, of course, in full, you've gone ahead and given it to us. Working hours, Chandrayaan, again, very relevant to our country, but not what we were looking for. We were seeking the NEP or the National Education Policy, or that was what it was. It was referred to as the NPE earlier in the 86 era and 68 as well. Of course, the Indira Gandhi government, the Rajiv Gandhi government, and then the PV Narasimha Rao government as well took various stabs at making the NEP and getting it to different iterations. But now the current government in 2020 launched a variety of changes. And one, of course, most importantly was the 5+5+4+3+3 system that we have. Let's jump on and see what we have in the leaderboard and then look at the answer slide again. So with that, changes in the leaderboard. Nish currently in second. Very well done. Ayushi in third. Aditi in fourth. And Selvamani has entered the leaderboard. Well done, Selvamani. You're in fifth. Ashish consolidating his position currently with 2 back-to-back very quick answers. So he's gotten himself a 200-point lead. Very well done, Ashish. Let's jump on, see what we have in the next slide. Oh, we don't have the answers. Let's jump on, folks. Okay, here it is. So what is the device we are asking you to identify? So this, again, is a very, very, very interesting answer. I would imagine a lot of you here know this. So this is a device that basically resulted from an entrepreneur's trip to a nearby store to buy milk. It has seen rapid adoption as it supports multiple Indian languages. So name this sound-breaking device and the company behind it that plays a vital role in empowering small and micro businesses in India. So if you know the name of the company, you definitely know what this device is called. And there are enough clues in the question for you as well. So think about it, something that supports multiple languages, and it helps a lot of small and medium businesses, kirana store owners. And in this case, the entrepreneur is said to have discovered or chanced upon seeing a requirement for this device when he visited, a nearby store to buy milk. And I think with that, let's quickly take another stab at an answer. Just for this round, we will ask people to share answers. I'm going to be super quick though, so I'll need you guys to be a little quick on the share. So I've asked Nish, Divani, if you can go ahead and tell us what you think. I've requested and unmute you as well. Can you tell us what you think the answer is, Nish? Are you able to hear us speak, or is there a challenge? Okay, Prince seems to know the answer. Prince, I will come to you for the next question if that's okay, or if you're not able to hear Nish. Nish, can you hear us? Okay, there seems to be an issue, so I'm going to go ahead to Prince. Prince, over to you. You can tell us.
Yeah, it's known as a like POS machine. I am not getting the full form, like but it is like POS machine. Whenever the beneficiary goes to collect the ration or like anything, so that
Got it. So POS basically stands for point of sale, basically. So you're thinking that it's a POS machine is what you're thinking. And any idea about what company this could be, Prince?
no
No guesses. Okay, but again, firstly, great attempt at this question. So we were actually looking for the Paytm sound box. So when you go to a Kirana store, there's that small speaker-like device, Prince, that basically tells out the amount of money or the fact that a certain amount of money has been received, right? That is actually what we're seeking for you to identify. So you've definitely seen this in your store, right? The sound box.
yes
Yeah, so that was the answer that we were seeking. Hard luck with that though, but again, great attempt. Thank you for again participating and telling us what you think. So yeah, so we'll go back and then let's see what folks have told us here. So Paytm is what some folks have said, so we'll give that as well. UPI device. So again, point of sale is the machine which you need to use your QR code to make the payment. This soundbox device is kept separately, and the reason this is kept is it's a very interesting story, and I'll quickly share that story as well with you. So let's just before that go to the leaderboard. Bharat Pay, Paytm receipt machine, Bashini, UPI device. Unfortunately, not what we're looking for. Paytm soundbox. Let's go ahead. Paytm sound machine is also fine, and let's jump onto the leaderboard, and then I'll tell you the story of how the founder Vijay Shekhar Sharma is said to have chanced upon this. So let's jump onto the leaderboard and see how our friends are faring. Chittaranjan is currently in second. He's jumped to second. Nish in third. Ayushi in fourth. Aditi in fifth. Ashish consolidating again in first position. So interestingly, the story goes as follows. So Vijay Shekhar Sharma goes to the store to pick up milk, and there he makes payment via UPI app. And then he says, hey, listen, I've made the payment, here it is. But unfortunately, on the device, which is an old school phone that the Kirana store owner has, he's run out of storage in his phone, doesn't have, and he's not receiving the SMS that lets him know that he's received the money. So there's a fix here. So he's like, hey, I've not received the money. And then this person is saying, Vijay Shekhar Sharma says, hey, I've actually made the payment. That's when you realize Kirana store owners don't have the time while there's so much sale happening to look at a phone to see if every transaction has come through. And what better way, if not to orally let them know through a device which says, hey, listen, this amount of money has been received. And that's the way they're able to actually go ahead and find out if a certain payment has been made or otherwise. And this device is so prevalent now, and it's a significant revenue stream for Paytm, something very, very unique to India. Nowhere else in the world do you see this sort of intervention. And again, the influence of technology. So we thought it's a very relevant question to ask here at the Policy Impact Quiz. And with that, let's go on to the next question and see what we have for you folks here. What is being talked about here? So this is the question, right? So again, a very, very fascinating question. I think this is a very, very, very interesting story, very inspiring if you ask me. So started by this couple, Mazin and Parmita. This is the Akshar school in Assam that accepts something unique and unconventional as fees. So this unique initiative has garnered worldwide attention, allows students to earn enough money to stay in school. So it has a net positive impact on the environment as well. So I want you to just tell me, what does Akshar school accept as fees? And it's very, very fascinating in this case that these students, they basically go ahead and go to school with something. And again, it's not fees in the form of money per se, right? So I want you to tell me, what does this Akshar school basically accept as fees? That's what I want you to tell me. So let's go ahead and see what we have. So I can see Prince has raised his hand again. Maybe I'll ask someone else. Prince, I'll come to you for sure for this one. So anyone else, if you want to raise your hand, if you want to answer, why don't you go ahead and raise your hand if you think you know the answer, and I'll then go ahead and, we can go ahead and set you up to speak. Anyone else wants to take a stab at this answer? So just simply think about net positive impact on the environment, something that's unique and conventional. If I can pick somebody at random as well, maybe let's ask our leader, Ashish Kejriwal. You have been unmuted. Are you able to hear us, Ashish? Ashish, can you hear us? Your mic is...
Answer is plastic.
So Ashish, you think this is plastic, is it? Can you tell us how you thought about this? If there's something you want to add to it?
No, I actually come from the state of Assam and I've heard it in the local news.
Oh, that is sensational. That is quite incredible odds. So you've seen and heard and read about it quite often. Very well done, Ashish. This is in fact plastic waste. So children actually go ahead and take plastic that they have within their premises in their homes and contribute that as fees, and then of course has monetary value because of the fact that one, you're getting rid of plastic waste, and then there is of course cycling and upcycling that can happen as well. So simply put, plastic waste is what we were seeking for. A very, very interesting school in this country on different ways to be able to achieve multiple outcomes. One, education outcomes, and secondly, environmental outcomes as well. So same technique, plasticide, plant-free environment, bamboo, not necessarily what we're looking for. As long as the word plastic is in your answer, we will give it to you. So well done to Ashish. Superb job there. Let's jump on, see our leaderboard and see how our friends are faring after this question. And here is the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. So Ashish continues to be on the top. Ayushi currently in second, Nish in third, Chitranjan in fourth, and Jyoti has entered the top five. Well done to you, Jyoti. Superb. Nice to see you in the top five here as well. And like I mentioned, there are prizes at stake for the winners of this Policy Impact Quiz. So please feel free to participate. Now that you've gotten a good sense of how things work, type out an answer, whether it's right, wrong, doesn't matter. We'd love for you to participate. And if anything else, you've learned something new today at the Policy Impact Quiz done by the Indian School of Public Policy. So let's jump on, folks. Here is the next question that we have for you. And here it is. So what is this concept is what we're asking you to identify. So, okay, this is the fifth question, if I'm not wrong. So this is a gentleman by name of Harry Beck, and in 1931, as an employee of the London Underground, had trouble marking all the stations on the London Tube using traditional mapping methods, right? So he actually employed a concept from science, a very, very, very straightforward concept from science, something that all of us have studied in school, right? That helped him represent the stations of the London Tube and their connections in a much more simpler and appealing manner. And more importantly, it also allowed him to leave space for future stations as well. So it then became the standard practice, not just at the London Tube, but for anywhere in the world where you notice any underground or metro map, we follow the same system to this day. So what was that simple and humble concept from science that he studied way back, that he employed in the design or in urban design, so as to speak, that is now used widely and prevalently across the world, right? That's the question that we have for you folks. I see 6 answers, waiting for a couple more answers, folks. So please type in your answers. As I'm doing so, you can keep typing it out as and when you think you've got it. I'm just seeing if someone's raised their hand here. Okay, let's ask maybe Jyoti for this one, since Jyoti, I'm just allowing access here. So Jyoti, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think the answer is, Jyoti. So I've unmuted you. Are you able to hear us? Jyoti, are you able to hear us? If not, I will go ahead and ask someone else. Okay, let's ask Chitranjan. Chitranjan, do you want to go ahead and tell us what you think is the answer? I will go ahead and ask you to unmute. Can you get? Do you have the unmute request, Chitranjan? Okay, it seems to be the case that we aren't hearing from either, and that's okay. So let's look at the answers that friends have shared. Let's review the answers and see what our friends have shared. Electric circuits, absolutely right. That is the answer that we were seeking, folks. The humble electric circuit diagram that we would draw in physics or in science back in school is the concept that they applied for the design of underground or maps or metro maps that you have. So GPS, magnetometer, circuit, I think we'll give it for circuit. Directions, junction, color code, track map, signal system, scale method, underground space, MG. Again, very fascinating answers, but not what we were seeking. Electric circuit is what we were seeking, and that was what led to the creation of how our maps that we have for every map, for any metro underground that we have. Let's look at the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, see how it's looking at this point in time. And here it is. So changes yet again. Nish is currently in 2nd place. He got himself the circuit diagram. Ayushi in 3rd, Chitranjan in 4th, Jyoti in 5th. Ashish continues to consolidate his position, barring any extremely unlikely scenario. I think Ashish is well placed to feature on the top spot of this quiz. But hey, I hope I've not jinxed it for you, Ashish. May the best individual win at this quiz. And of course, learning something new is something that we'd love for you to happen for this quiz. Okay, let's jump on, folks. I think this is the last question that we have here in the potpourri round that we have for you. So this is about a company called OBT, right? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but OBT is a world leader in hand-woven carpets, and they were tasked with rejuvenating and elevating India's cherished pillars of democracy when they were entrusted with the prestigious endeavor aligning with Prime Minister Modi's vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? So 900 master craftsmen from the villages of Badohi and Mirzapur in UP meticulously hand-knotted 158 carpets, displaying 18 shades from the Indian agave green family. So I want you to very simply tell me, where would you come across these carpets made by OBT, right? Again, think about the timelines. Think about the fact that it's relatively recent, in fact, very, very recent. So just tell me the place where you would come across OBT's beautiful creation, which is 158 carpets in number. And very, very interestingly and fascinatingly, the 18 shades from the Indian agave green family. There's also inspiration from our national bird as well, which you'll notice on these carpets. So let me go ahead and take another last answer. This is the round where we'll ask people. So I think Prince has raised his hand. Let's ask Prince. Prince, what do you think is the answer, Prince?
So it's on a new parliament building, but I mistakenly typed some other thing. But the exact answer, I guess, is in the new parliament building.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, Prince. You're absolutely right. We were looking for the
but
new
I
parliament
mistakenly typed some other thing.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, Kahoot takes that as the answer. But again, very, very well done. So we were seeking for the new parliament building as the answer to this question. Very, very recently inaugurated just last year in 2023. And of course, a huge, massive part of the Central Vista redevelopment project that it is. And there, of course, lots of things like Sengol and many other things were discussed. But the carpeting was done by BT. Let's just look at what answers folks have shared. Lok Sabha Parliament, of course, we'll give it to you. that's acceptable as an answer. Bihar, Jamnagar, New Delhi. New Delhi is accurate, but we need something a little more specific than New Delhi because there's so many wonderful buildings that you have in that space. Bhadohi was the where the local craftsmen or the artisans came from. So with that, let's look at the answer. So we were looking for, folks, the new Parliament building is what we were seeking, and let's have a look at our leaderboard and see how our friends are faring. Very, very well done. Jyoti, superb job there. You've now featured on the 4th position. Selvamani currently in 5th. Ayushi in 3rd. Nish in 2nd. And Ashish with a near 1,300 point margin, which is pretty sensational, currently leading this quiz. Superb job, guys. So this is the first round of questions that we had for you, and it's a mixed bag of all things happening in our country and in the world. The next round is a fun format that we have, and it's known as the Connect round. All right, very, very fun. So I'm going to show you a bunch of images, right? And you need to connect these images and give me a common theme or an overall common answer. I'll explain to you how that works with the form of an example, right? And I think that's the best way this works. So what you guys can do is, this is again for no points. This is just merely as an example. Let's go ahead and see what the example question here is. And I'd like you to explain to me what the answer is. So let me give you a very simple requirement here. If you notice that animal here in the bottom left, I don't want you to tell me what the name of the animal here is. I want you to tell me how these 4 clues that you have together connect. So you notice the phrase Achhe Din written on the top left. And I want you to think of it in the vernacular. Think of it in a regional, think of it in English, number 1. And then think of those 2 images you see on the top right. Then you think of what that child is doing or playing in the bottom right. And think of those phrases or words in your head. Now, what do you think connects all of them? That is the answer I want you to share, right? So the overall answer is what matters. You might probably be able to figure out the overall answer just by looking at 2 clues here, and that's fine. I don't need to know what all of them mean. You just need to tell me what is the overall answer here. And that's all, that's the requirement for this question. So let's ask someone orally, maybe, who wants to raise their hand and who's probably taken a stab at this. What do you guys think is the answer to this question? Okay, Ashish is gone for it. Ashish, why don't you unmute yourself and tell us what you think this is, Ashish?
Is it not biscuits? Achhe Din is good day.
Explain to us, please. Why do you think it's biscuits? Sorry, can you explain this to us, Ashish?
Yeah, can you hear me? Achhe Din is good day, crackjack, tiger, and hide and seek.
Fantastic, Ashish. You've nailed this one. So we were just looking for biscuits, right? The answer overall was biscuits. Achhe Din, of course, translates to good day in English. That's a crack on a wall, and that's the jack, the card that you have from a pack of cards. So crack, jack. That's a child playing hide and seek in the bottom right. And that's, of course, the majestic tiger. So where would you have heard tiger, hide and seek, good day, and crack jack? They're, of course, beloved biscuits in our country. So this is an example question, folks. You might ask me, Sachin, what does biscuit brands have to do with public policy? Well, absolutely, you're right. No real direct correlation. But this is an example question. The questions we have chosen for you for the remaining 4 questions that we have for you in this round are all within the realm of public policy. So I want you to, again, please give me the overall answer, right? If you were to just tell me tiger as an example to this question, that's unfortunately not the right answer. And again, you might also come up with another different sort of theme. You might say that, hey, listen, those are images that you saw in a textbook on school. While that might be true, that's not the answer that we are seeking, right? So that's what I need you to do. Give me the overall answer, folks. I think you'll have a lot of fun doing this. It's a very, very interesting way to be able to put together facts which might not seem related, but are related nonetheless. And of course, since this was a trial question, no changes in the leaderboard. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the first connect question for you, and here it is. So I want you to connect all of these clues that you have. You see a place called Songdo in South Korea. Then you see a map of India with a bunch of locations highlighted or marked on that. It isn't mentioned as clearly for a specific reason. Then you notice a logo on your screen of a butterfly. And then you notice the logo of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs of our Government of India. So what do you think is a 2-word answer that connects all of these 4 clues? Again, very, very relevant in a public policy context, in terms of urban affairs, in terms of what's happening in our country. So think of a 2-word answer that is very, very critical and important to urban development in our country, right? And just to add more context, Songdo in South Korea is believed to be the first ever instance of what the answer is. And what you see in the map of India is all the highlighted spots that relate to this answer. That's the logo of the mission Transform Nation. We've blanked out a bunch of keywords there, the two words we're asking you to identify. And then, of course, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs from the Government of India is directly correlated to this. So we've got 6 answers here. So is there anybody else? Let's ask maybe someone who's not. Let's ask Nish. Nish, I'm going to take another chance here. We didn't hear from you, unfortunately, the last time around. Are you able to unmute, Nish? Do you want to take a stab at, again, even if you don't think you know the answer, you can tell us. Yes, Nish, over to you.
I am not really sure, but I thought it's something related to the economy. So,
Sorry, you're saying something related to the economy. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
That's a great guess. That is a very, very good guess. You're thinking related to the economy? Absolutely. But I'm looking for something slightly more specific, Nish. Great attempt, great answering. Anyone else wants to take a stab at it? We have just under 2 seconds. So I think I'll close this one anyway. So folks, we were looking for smart city. I think Prince has raised his hand and I'm assuming he had this with him as well. So smart city is what we were seeking for you. So urban development, urbanization, very much the case. Economic zone development, but we were looking for smart cities as a concept and as a mission that multiple cities in our country are now mandated to become. So smart cities is what we were seeking for. And I noticed 5 of you have gotten this right. A bunch of you went with other fascinating answers. So let's proceed here. There's no answers to take from the review section. Let's look at our leaderboard and see how our friends are faring. And here it is, Romesh. Well done. Super for someone who's doing a quiz on Kahoot for the first time to end up on the leaderboard here is sensational stuff. Superb job, Romesh. Well done to you, Jyoti, Ayushi, Nish, and Ashish. Very, very well done. So the leaderboard remains the same. Here is the second question appearing on your screen. All right. What connects these elements that you have here? So, okay, this is a very interesting answer, but there's multiple clues. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clues for you to connect to give me for the overall answer. So 8 clues, and think about it. These are, it's a very broad answer. It's a kind of organization that you'd find in our country, right? Not just in our country, anywhere in the world. So what kind of organization, what kind of entity, or am I asking you to identify? Just a simple one-word answer is all I need for you. Look at each of these clues. You will definitely, and if there's anything, there is a visual rebus that we have in the bottom. Put that together. Something should pop up in your head and be like, hey, that makes sense. You can take a stab at it, right? So go ahead, tell me what you think it is. And I can see 1, 2 people have answered this here. Let's ask someone we've not answered. Let's ask Romesh. Romesh, I've gone ahead and allowed access for you to speak. Romesh, do you want to unmute yourself and tell us what you think the answer is, Romesh?
Sorry, sir, I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, how about this, Romesh? Why don't we figure it out together, right? So
Okay,
what
sir.
do you see on the bottom, those 2 images that are repeated? What is that basically?
I and ocean.
Okay, well, tell me another word for ocean.
Sea.
Okay, now if you see that repeatedly multiple times, can you just say that out in your
ICICI Bank.
Okay, now what do you think are the other ones? What is a word used to give an affirmative response?
What used to give? Sorry, sir.
No problem. You see the planet Earth, right? And what does it revolve around?
Equator.
Equator is a good one as well. So you've
Ex-
almost, sorry? Okay,
Equator.
Ashish, you unmute yourself and you can tell us, Ashish. Go ahead. Romesh,
Yeah.
very well done. Yeah, explain to us, Ashish.
I've
Can we
got
show
it
the
wrong,
media?
but it's
Just
banned.
one sec. Just one sec, Ashish. Can you just show the media so that everybody can see it as well? Just click on show media, please. It's in the bottom. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Go ahead, Ashish. Tell us.
I answered too quickly. I got it wrong. It's actually banks because Land of 5 Rivers is Punjab, Yes Bank, then ICICI, then there's Baroda is Bank of Baroda. So I think
Lovely,
that's-
lovely. Superb, Ashish. So what is that? What state is that? That's a state in our country. Which state is that on the left?
I think it's Travancore.
That's a good guess. That's actually the state of Karnataka. And that is the Canara region in Karnataka. So that's where you get the Canara Bank from. That's Axis, as you rightly mentioned. Vadodara was earlier known as Baroda, so that's the Bank of Baroda. That logo which you see with the banyan tree is the earlier logo of the State Bank of India when it was the Imperial Bank. Land of Five Rivers, as you rightly mentioned, is Punjab. And that's the Indus Valley Civilization where you get the IndusInd Bank, ICICI, as Romesh you had mentioned. And affirmative response basically is yes. So these were banking organizations in our country, very, very critical functionaries in this country. So banks is what we wanted you to say. So Jai Shakti, ICUN, National Anthem C, Archaeological Survey, anything to do with banks, we're going to give it to you. So two of you got this right. Slightly tough question, I would imagine. But again, I think very, very workoutable. So well done to the two of you who got this right. Superb effort. Ashish, unfortunately, I think broke his streak, if I'm not wrong, with this question, but that's no problem at all. You got it right eventually. And Ayushi has jumped up in second. Nish, Jyoti, and Romesh are our remaining top five. Let's jump on, ladies and gentlemen, see the next question that we have here, which I'm thinking is the third question that we have in this round. What connects these is what I want you to identify. Again, looking for a specific set of keywords, hardcore, relevant news in the public policy context. That's a logo that you see in the top left, a flag of a country. Then you see, of course, the numerical on your top right, and an important treaty signed in a Japanese city that is considered its cultural capital. And then you notice a logo of a functionary organization. So what does this all connect to is what I want you to tell me. Put all of that together. And I'm just looking for a bunch of keywords. You just need to tell me what is basically that overall keyword is I want you to identify, right? So it's just maybe 1, 2, 3 words or 2 words, which if you were to tell me, that's more than sufficient. So I think I see a bunch of hands that have been raised here. If I could, let me ask someone who have not asked at all, if it's possible. I think let's ask Selvamani Pitambaram. Selvamani, I've allowed for you to speak. Can you share? Can you unmute yourself and tell us what you're thinking? Selvamani, are you able to hear us? Are you able to speak? Okay, I don't think it's happening. Okay, that's no problem. No problem at all. Let's ask maybe, let's ask Ayushi again. I think Ayushi did take a stab earlier as well. Ayushi, do you want to take a stab again? What do you think is the answer to this question? Any idea? Okay, let's ask Prince then. Prince, do you want to go unmute yourself and tell us what you think the answer is, Prince?
My answer is Kyoto Protocol.
Kyoto Protocol is what you're thinking, Prince. That's a very, very good attempt. In fact, that is one of the clues that we had for you here. So the bottom left, which you notice, which is the important treaty signed that we had, was of course the Kyoto Protocol, which was signed in the city of Kyoto. But we were looking for another answer, folks. So I think I will give out the answer since we're anyway out of time. So let's see how many of you have got it right in the interim. So COP28 summit is what we were seeking. So the COP28 summit, Kyoto Protocol, etc., was not what we were seeking. So two of you, in fact, have gotten this right. So let's go to the media once. Let's accept these answers or just proceed. UN treaty, I don't think will be accepted. Just COP28. Let's show media. So, folks, what you see on the top left is actually the logo of the COP28 that you have. It was, of course, hosted in the UAE, where it was held in Dubai. And that's, of course, the 28th meet, which is why you have 28. And the logo on the bottom right you see is of the UNFCCC, which is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And the Kyoto Protocol that you rightly said, Prince, and many others also had mentioned on answer, was signed in Japan in 1992 and which implemented the objective of the UNFCCC. So COP28 was what we were seeking for you to tell us. Well done to those who got it right. Let's jump on and see how it's looking. So Nish, well done to you. You got this right. Superb answer. Aditi has jumped up 3 places, is our highest climber. We don't see you on the leaderboard, Aditi. Again, let me clarify, there are a bunch of other people who are also in the leaderboard. It just doesn't mean only these 5 people are participating. There are a lot more people participating. It's just a case of how little more higher they are on the leaderboard. We will have an overall leaderboard as well that we can share with the team at the end of this quiz as well. All right, let's jump on, ladies and gentlemen, the last question of this Connect round. And after which is going to be a very quick, snappy affair on the rapid fire round. So again, very, very important milestone in this country. So you notice 3 logos. You notice the logo of the State Bank of India. You then notice the logo of Future Gaming and Hotel Services Private Limited. Then you see ADR, the Association for Democratic Reforms. And then you'll notice that I mentioned multiples of 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, and 1 crore. And 10 days each in the month of Jan, April, July, October, as may be specified by the central government. Now, all of these connect to something which is a landmark, important decision, for lack of a better word, in our country. So I just want you to tell me, what are we referring to? What is this all about? And it's a broadly two keywords or three keywords, which I'm looking for. If you give me two, that's also fine. But if you've got one, you very likely know the other one or other two or three as well. So that's the way it is. So let me see if there's someone else I can ask who's not answered it as well. Let's ask Aditi. Aditi, are you able to hear us? Do you want to unmute yourself and take a stab at answering this? Otherwise, I'll ask someone who's already raised their hand. Prince, you've raised your hand as well. Let's wait for Aditi for a couple of seconds. Aditi, do you want to take a stab at this answer? If not, we will ask Prince. Okay.
Yeah, it's connecting electoral bond system. So
okay, can you explain? Can you tell us how?
So ADR is a agency, like independent agency, who is doing it, like who is keep watching on the criminal records of politicians who are fighting the election, and so it's connecting with SBI. So SBI is only bank who can or will issue the electoral bond in the multiple of the amounts mentioned here. And one of the biggest, so after the Supreme Court decision that one of the gaming industry purchase like more electoral bond in comparison to their revenue or profit.
Got it. Prince, I couldn't have done a better job. Very, very well done. You almost nailed all the elements that you see on your screen. I'll just fill in the rest of the things that Prince had mentioned. Well done, you, Prince. Absolutely right. Electoral bond scheme, EBS, electoral bonds, anything of that nature is fine. Let me just explain this to you. So as rightly mentioned by Prince, the State Bank of India is the only organization that is allowed or permitted to disperse these bonds. Future Gaming and Hotel Services was one of the largest donors in our country. They belong to the Martins Group, and DMK was, of course, one of the beneficiaries from what I remember reading. So the ADR, of course, as rightly mentioned by Prince, is a watchdog of sorts, but in this case, they were the petitioners before the Supreme Court for the electoral bond scheme case. And the multiples, as rightly mentioned, of course, you can contribute or donate to this bond in that fashion of multiples that you notice. And the timeframes within which you can contribute are those days. So 10 days each in the months of Jan, April, July, and October are the timeframes within which you can participate to contribute to these bonds, etc. Again, very, very pivotal moment in our country between the right to privacy and the right to know as well. Very, very fascinating legal debate, of course. The right for constitutional citizenship, of course, was enabled and was upheld, which was a very, very important thing for our country. So electoral bonds, anybody who said anything else, non-performing assets, demonetization, IOB, bond, I think we'll give it to you. Let's be generous with that one. So anything to do with, if you said bond, electoral bond scheme, you guys would have it. So very well done to you folks. Superb job there. Let's have a look at our leaderboard. Superb answering, I must say. These aren't necessarily the most straightforward questions. They need you to think a little bit, apply your mind, but more importantly, be a little aware of what's happening in the world. And it's very safe to say that all of you are very, very clued in with what's happening. So Ashish continues to be in first position. Very well done, Ashish. I think you've been leading from the first question and continue to do so. That's very, very impressive. Nish currently is not too far off, mind you, in second position, followed by Ayushi, Jyoti, and Chittaranjan. So superb effort, everybody. Now that we're done with the first two rounds of the quiz, I think we're very, very good on time. We should be done in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. We should be done. So this next and last round of the quiz, ladies and gentlemen, is multiple choice. There is no typing out answers at all. So you see a question, you have 4 options. You choose the right option, you get your points. It's as simple as that. It's a rapid fire, a good old rapid fire that you have. And that's what you need to do. 10 questions we've chosen, again, very relevant to the themes that we're discussing here today in the Policy Impact Quiz by the Indian School of Public Policy. I think let's get started, folks. You guys are veterans at this by now. So here is the first question. In the acronym DINK-WAD, DINK stands for dual income with no kid. What does WAD stand for? Does it stand for with a dog? Does it stand for wise and driven? Does it stand for work after a dream? Or does it stand for wine and dance? So think about it. Dual income, no kid with a dog. Dual income, no kid, wise and driven. Dual income, no kid, work after dream. Dual income, no kid, wine and dance. So again, in the era of millennials and Gen Zs becoming parents, so we were seeking a newer interpretation or an iteration to the DINK concept. DINK, of course, was a term that I remember used to hearing when I was way back in school as well. But there's a new iteration to that now, where, of course, while you don't have children, you still have a dog as well. And that's what we were seeking. So 4 of you have gotten this right. Wise and driven, while sounding like very accurate, but we were specifically looking for DINKWAD is a part of this acronym. And it's of course, in internet culture and quite popular. So that's what we were seeking, ladies and gentlemen. That is the first question. We're not going to be taking audio shares for this one. So we just want you to go ahead and tell us what you think is the answer. So here it is, folks. Please keep yourselves on mute. So leaderboard as follows. Aditi has entered the top 5. Well done to you. Jyoti in 4th, Ayushi in 3rd, Nish in 2nd, and Ashish in 1st position. 1 question done, 9 remaining. Here is the second question on your screen now. The prohibition of what is shown in the map below. So blue stands for prohibition applicable on government devices. Yellow stands for prohibition previously applicable. Red basically stands for currently applicable on all devices. Basically, you are unable or you're prohibited completely on any device within this country. And orange basically means a different platform is in use. So I want you to tell me which platform are we referring to? WeChat, TikTok, Alibaba, or the call recorder app is what I want you to identify. And with that, let's see how many friends have gotten it right. We have gotten significant number of you have gotten this right. Fairly relevant news. America is now mulling and trying to go down the direction that we went quite a while back on completely banning TikTok and the kind of influence and sort of concerns that people across the world are having. So well done to all of you folks. Call recorder also is a relevant answer, but we were looking for TikTok. No changes in the leaderboard. Third question up on your screen. Here it is. Which constitutional institution founded in 1950 has released the Picture Handbook on Combating Gender Stereotypes? So, for example, if you were to use ladylike, that's inaccurate or incorrect, you should use a gender-neutral description of behavior or characteristics. Example, amusing or assertive. So as you can see in this, you shouldn't be using sex change versus using sex reassignment or gender transition. So is it the ECI, is it the Parliament of India, is it the Niti Aayog, or is it the Supreme Court of India? So which institution in our country has launched this handbook on combating gender stereotypes? So the ECI is what a lot of you have said, but tipping it by a slightly higher number, and well done to all of those who went to the Supreme Court of India. We were seeking that as the answer, folks. Constitutional institution was one clue, of course. You're rightly assuming and rightly saying that ECI is also within that realm, but the Supreme Court of India is what we were seeking. So Nish, well done to you. Nish has overtaken Ashish. This is quite a fascinating upheaval of sorts, if I might say. Ashish, again, don't worry, there are a bunch of questions. Well done to you as well, Nish. Superb job there. Well done to you as well, Ayushi, Jyoti, and Prince. Prince has entered the top 5 after a while. Superb job there as well. So guys, lots of drama here in the leaderboard. A change. I hope I've not jinxed it for you, Ashish. I genuinely believe I've not jinxed it. But again, may the best individual win is what I've maintained. And here is the next question, number 4, if I'm not wrong, on your screen right now. So at Google for India's event in 2022, a new AI feature that will help translate which unfathomable text was discussed. Is it a palm leaf manuscript? Is it a programming language? Is it a doctor's prescription? Or is it a tribal language? So again, look at that screen, and in that screen, it basically says that it's handwritten, that it's hard to read, and that it's hard to remember. So what is this fairly iconic, unfathomable text that AI will now translate? Okay, this was a bit of a googly for everybody here. A lot of you went with tribal languages and palm leaf manuscripts. Folks, we were seeking a good old doctor prescription, which is so hard to read, which is so hard to process, but yet AI is now being sought to make an intervention to make those doctor prescriptions a lot more easier or verifiable or decipherable, depending upon how the state of that doctor's prescription is. So a little tough for folks here. Three of you getting this right. Lots of changes in the leaderboard, I would imagine. And drama yet again. Ashish is back in first position. Well done to you, Ashish. Second, Nish. Jyoti in fourth. Ayushi in third. Chittaranjan is back in fifth position. Well done, folks. Lots of changes in the leaderboard, but again, we have prizes for all the winners. So just have fun, participate. Hopefully, you're learning something new through the course of this quiz. Here is the next question appearing on your screen now. Which is the world's first fully powered solar airport? World's first, mind you. So is this the Haneda Airport in Tokyo? Is this the Mumbai Airport, the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Airport? Is it the Dallas Fort Worth International Airport? Or is it the Cochin International Airport? So where would you find the first fully solar powered airport in the world is the question that we have for you. And we will wait for 4, 3, 2, and 1 and see. Okay, well done. So this is in our own country, folks, in Cochin, God's own country, where you'll find in Cochin in the international airport, you have the fully solar powered airport. Superb job by the 8 of you who got this right. Hard luck for those who went with Dallas and Mumbai. Let's look at our leaderboard and see if there's any interesting changes. Well, there is. Yes, Chittaranjan has dropped. Aditi is back in the 4th position. Well done, folks. Here is the next question. And Ashish has breached the 5-digit mark. Well done to you, Ashish. So, which statesman who wrote a classic treatise on polity and statecraft was featured in the rupee 150 coin released in 2010? So this was in 2010. So statesman who wrote a classic treatise on polity and statecraft, is it Chanakya, is it Shivaji, is it Rajaraja Chola, or is it Atal Bihari Vajpayee is the question that we have for you. Tell us who you think it is and we will go from there. All right. So yeah, 3, 2, and 1. We'll have our answer very shortly. I would imagine this is significantly answered by everybody, and it is the case. Hard luck for those who went with Shivaji, Rajaraja Chola, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee. This was none other than Chanakya that we were asking you to identify. So let's look at the leaderboard, folks. And here it is, Chittaranjan back in the top 5 here. Ashish has got 3 back-to-back answers. And again, he's at 10,000. We've got Nish, Ayushi, Aditi in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. Here's the next question on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. So shown here is the Liquid 3, a project by a startup intending to replace something in smart cities. So what is it replacing, right? That's the thing on the left that you see in between those 2 small, things on the road. So is it a water dispenser? Is it a trash bin? Is it a tree? Or is it a rainwater harvesting pit? So what is this item that is looking to what is it looking to replace basically? What is this item replacing, especially in smart cities, or to grapple with development and challenges and the way the world is at this point in time? Superb answer. It does resemble a trash can, but it's anything but. It is actually a tree. If you look at the image, let's look at the media again, please. So if you notice that that is actually a replacement for a tree, or how they're trying to bring about the impact that trees have in the form of natural flora and fauna in a given city, urban context. They're trying to create that digitally or in the form of technology. And that's what Liquid 3 does. And it's trying to mimic what a tree does for us with all the goodness that it offers. So let's look at the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, and see how our friends are faring. And here it is. Prince is back again in the 5th position. No other changes otherwise. Aditi, Ayushi, Nish, and Ashish make up our 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st position placers. Here is the next question. And this is on your screen. PMJAY is a national public health insurance scheme of the Government of India. What is it commonly known as? Is it known as the Karunya Health Scheme? Is it known as Ayushman Bharat? Is it known as Swasthya Bima Yojana? Or is it known as Sanjeevani Shrishti? This is the question that every single person here has gotten right, which is superb. Ayushman Bharat is what we were looking for. Arguably one of the easiest questions we have in the quiz, but hey, you guys are clearly well in the know of things, and that's exactly how it should be. Ayushman Bharat, ladies and gentlemen, is what we were seeking for, and I would imagine there's no changes in the leaderboard because everybody got that right. And here is the next question appearing on your screen now. Okay, so this is about the influence of influencers in this day and age. So, which influencers campaign led brands like Bonvita and Maggie to change the labeling and reduce sugar content? Is it Krish Ashok? Is it Kripa Jalan? Is it Revant Himmat Singla? Or is it Rujuta Divekar? Right? So, who amongst these is the influencer who's led to changes in the labeling and other substances like sugar, palm oil, and the like? And he's doing a lot of great work in this space, and that is none other than Revant that we were asking you to identify. Again, stuff that's happening in the world, very, very influential in terms of capitalistic gains that companies are looking to make. And now, of course, people are at the brunt of that, and now people like Revant are trying to undo all of that. Very well done to the 10 of you who got this right. Krish Ashok, of course, is also an incredible personality in this space as well, but we were specifically asking for Revant in this case. All right. So with that, no changes in the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. And before we go on to the next slide, I think we have the last question appearing on the next screen. So let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you here for patiently spending time with us, participating, and being such an incredible, involved, and participative audience. So, a round of applause to all of you guys. You guys have been a lovely audience and participation group. Thank you to the Indian School of Public Policy for putting this together, for putting together the Policy Impact Quiz, the first time that we're attempting this together. And it's safe to say that we've had incredible, deep participation from the folks who've turned up. And for us here at Q-Shala, for my team, Durga, Ahil, and myself, we're very, very thrilled to have conducted this for you. Hopefully, this is the first of many. And with that said, here is the next question and the last question of today's quiz appearing on your screen now. These are the top 10 Indian cities of which coveted list in 2023. You've got Indore and Surat right on top, tied. Navi Mumbai, Visakhapatnam, Bhopal, Vijayawada, New Delhi, Tirupati, Greater Hyderabad, and Pune. So are these the dirtiest cities of India? Are these the cleanest cities of India? Are these the most literate states of India, or are these the tourist cities of India, which has the most amount of tourism coming their way? So what coveted list? I would imagine the dirtiest city list isn't really coveted. If anything else, it's probably not coveted. But again, we have to give you some interesting kind of answers to choose from. Cleanest cities, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely right. Indore has been consecutively winning one of the cleanest city awards for multiple years now. Surat also, I think, was joint winner in 2023. And with that, let's look at our leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. But before that, a small plug from us at Q-Shala. If you like the questions that we shared with you, if you like quizzing, and if you'd like to receive a quiz in your email inbox in the morning and in the evening, and just having to spend 30 seconds, 3 questions in the morning, 3 questions in the evening, all of which is tracked on your email in the form of a leaderboard, which you can then redeem in the form of points. Q-Shots is for you. It's a thrilling quiz experience. It's almost like what Wordle did for words, Q-Shots does for quizzing. So please do sign up for Q-Shots. And with that, let's see what we have in the next slide. So here is a bit of a feedback question that we have for you. What is the most interesting trivia or funda from today's quiz is what I want you to tell me. So what is the most interesting thing you learned or you answered or you heard in today's quiz? Please type that out. We'd love to get that feedback from you guys. It'll be very, very useful just to know what you as an audience member is thinking in terms of the questions. I see 2 people have already answered. So you can go ahead and just type what you think is something that you found very interesting and fascinating. So yes, here is it. Yeah, so the connect questions is what I see. Connect repeatedly featuring on it. Oh, guys, this is, I think, a clear winner is the Connect round. I think this is fantastic feedback for our team as well. We're very, very thrilled to see this. New Delhi being clean was something that we found very interesting. And let's quickly go on. What's on the poll? Do we have some polls here? Okay, yeah, here it is, quickly. So how do you find the Policy Impact Quiz, folks? I'd love to get your feedback here as well. Was it very difficult? Was it very easy? Or what was the level that you found the questions to be at? We'd love to get this feedback, and this is valuable for us to go ahead and basically do what we need to do to make sure that the quiz can be even better the next time around. And here it is. So we've got 11 of you have joined in. 11 of 7 answers we've gotten. And in 4, 3, 2, and 1, 13 answers have been submitted. So let's go ahead and see. Let's skip the answers anyway. We'll do that for internal review and feedback later. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, here is the podium that we have. Coming in third place is Prince Jain. Coming in second is Nish Divani. And winning today's quiz by a significant margin is Ashish Kejriwal. Superb job by all three of you. And coming in fourth and fifth are Aditi and Ayushi. Superb job there, Prince. For you to have caught up from fifth, fourth, and third is superb. Well done to you, Ashish, for consistently being, at the top, and you've almost got twice the margin nearly in terms of how well you've done. Let's stop sharing the screen, team. And that is the end of the policy impact quiz that we had for you, ladies and gentlemen. We at Qshala had a blast hosting this for you. We started around this time at 5:11, 5:07 or so. We're just tad bit over 6 o'clock, so that I think we're okay on time, just a little bit of a stretch. But I think, we were able to finish well within time. I hope you guys had a great time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a great set of participants through the course of this quiz. We had a great time putting this together. And this is me, Sachin, signing off for today evening. Have a lovely Saturday evening and have a great weekend tomorrow as well. We'll see you at the next quiz that we're hosting here for the Indian School of Public Policy. Take care, guys. Have a good evening. Bye.